I posted just an open-ended question to a lot of the female and minority entrepreneurs who are all excited that I actually get to talk to you semi face-to-face. So by and large, both women and minority entrepreneurs have listed financing and financial resources as their number one challenge. So part A to that question is, what do we do about that? And part B to that question is there a way for us to put some maybe learning and education in place to help us with those challenges?
Well, you make an excellent point in terms of access to capital for minorities and for women in particular, which is ironic since minority entrepreneurs, black-owned companies, and women-owned companies in particular are growing faster in number and in revenue growth than the mainstream entrepreneurial population. That said, there's kind of two major issues that I think women, in particular women and minority entrepreneurs, have to kind of overcome. One is a matter of access to networks. It's one of the big challenges that we address with our annual Black Enterprise Entrepreneurs Conference. How do we get women and minority entrepreneurs in the room with angel investors, in the room with the right banking, people from the banking communities, so you can really showcase the investment potential of your businesses? The second thing you hit on as well is the issue of education, and this is where I always urge women and minorities to kind of get out of their comfort zone in terms of the people they talk to really go to networking events of people who may not be women, may not be minorities, to get exposure to the sources of capital that they may not have thought about because it's outside their comfort zones. So it really is a matter of networking and mentorship. And by the way, that's also the issue for women in corporate America as well. The access to mentors, the access to networks is really the differentiator between women and men when it comes to advancing in corporate America as well as in business.
Which would, by the way, is a great segue to the second issue, particularly like you said with the women viewers, they wanted to know about mentoring. It seems as if a lot of the women want to share their experiences, but they're only sharing the positive experiences. And so new entrepreneurs are not aware of the pitfalls. And so do you think that this is an injustice, only kind of giving half education, giving them the whole, entrepreneurship is glamorous, it's easy, and then they don't get the other piece? So maybe sometimes they're not prepared, as prepared as they should be to go in business.
Well, it's very important, and Black Enterprise has really been a champion of this, to get past the kind of fairy tale of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is tough. It's rewarding, but it's tough. Businesses do fail, even when they do everything right. So it's very, very important for women and minority entrepreneurs to really, I always tell people, talk to other entrepreneurs. Your most important source of information is not editors who write about entrepreneurship. It's not advocates, even though advocates are important. It's other entrepreneurs, to build your network with other more experienced entrepreneurs who don't necessarily look like you, and of course those that do look like you but have more experience, because when you talk behind closed doors, they are going to get you the real deal. And one of the things we love about our Entrepreneurs Conference is that it's not panels of talking heads. All the panelists are business owners who already been there and they've heard the BS, if you will, and they're going to tell you the real deal so you can go in with your eyes open.
Okay. So I see that you spent some time with the Andersons, the Black Experiment, Our Black Year.
Yes.
I saw that you wrote about them, and so we featured them recently in some of our articles, and they talked a lot about how difficult it was to buy Black for an entire year. A lot of the minorities and women were speaking of not feeling like they're getting the support from their own gender or their own culture. The biggest question that I have is, are we limiting ourselves by making our audience, our target market, so small? In the past, we know that it was important to niche, but should we be expanding now, given how things have changed lately?
I believe, and I'm going to quote a late great entrepreneur, J. Bruce Llewellyn, who passed away a couple of years ago, that we need to look at, we certainly need to target our own communities as a source of business. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But we need to look at that as the floor, not the ceiling. That yes, we want to build in that niche, but we also want to create products and services and build businesses and acquire businesses that will serve the broader marketplace. And one great example is the Sears Own a Sears Store campaign, where African Americans and other entrepreneurs have a chance to buy, Sears franchises, which is great. Those people want to learn more about it should follow the Own a Sears Store hashtag on Twitter and other resources. But my point is, anybody, regardless of race and gender, will buy a Sears appliance. If you want to buy an automotive repair center, you're going to serve everybody in the community because they want good service. So what you want to do is take the 12 or 13% of the population that may be black or minority and certainly deliver great products and services, but also put yourself in a position to be able to provide and compete to serve all consumers wherever they are. So you're not limited to the 12% or 13%. That's just a floor for you to develop your business from there.
Okay. And the other complaint that I get from small businesses is the tax brackets. They're employing, maybe 15 to 20 people, and they're just being eaten alive with how much they're paying out in taxes. And so how do we create something so that we can bring a voice to the fact that we feel that there's the unfair taxation for the smaller businesses who are providing the majority of the jobs right now?
Well, I happen to think this is a great time for small business owners and entrepreneurs to really become real activists, not just because it's an election year, but all smart entrepreneurs are politically engaged and politically active. This doesn't mean you got to commit to one party or another. It's about looking out for what's in the best interest of small business owners when it comes to policy and legislation. So I tell people, if you're not politically engaged and you're not politically active, you're not really in business. So small business owners, and right now this is a great time because both corporate America, large corporations like Sears, as well as government, are depending on small business owners to drive our economy. So this is the time for your voices to be heard.
Okay. And a lot of people are serial entrepreneurs right now. What's your take on that?
It's a good thing to be. It's important to commit to a life of entrepreneurship, even if your business may come and go. It's great to be able to sell your business and use that money to acquire another business.
Okay, I agree. I've been in business for about 10 years. And so
I've been told I need to wrap up.
Okay.
So I'll make this the last question.
Okay, we'll make this the last question. So being in for 10 years, I see a lot of new entrepreneurs coming in. And I see it in much, much larger numbers than 10 or 15 years ago. Can you give me the single most important piece of advice that a brand new, just starting out 2 or 3 months ago entrepreneur should know?
The worst thing you can do is isolate yourself. You need to get around other entrepreneurs as much as possible so you don't have to reinvent the wheel when it comes to growing and developing your business.
Thank you very much for your time, Mr. Edmond. I look forward to tweeting with you. I see you're pretty active on social media.
I follow you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for your time, and I'm looking forward to seeing the wrap-up of this video.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Enjoy your evening.